Hey everybody, this is Indiana Jack. I went to the shipper yesterday to pick up a load of tires. Now, it wasn't a load of tires that were brand new like we normally pick up. They were recycled tires being taken to a plant to be all ground up and used for something else. It took them 5 hours to load my truck. It took a long time, and I wondered, oh my gosh, at the receiver, I wondered how long it was going to take them to unload. You're going to have to wait until the end to find out how they unloaded them. Well, good morning everybody. We're in Gallup, New Mexico, preparing to leave. We've got a load going to Salt Lake City, and you know what's unique about this trip? It truly is unique because we're going to go the back way through Moab and through some of the mountains going back down into Salt Lake. So this is going to be quite a trip. You won't want to miss it. Let's get out of Gallup, New Mexico. Let's see what elevation this is. 6,473 feet. I just had a bunch of work done on my truck. I have all new airbags, and I still have an air leak. And at this elevation especially, I have trouble keeping the air in my truck. So, I'm going to have to go on a search and destroy search and destroy voyage to try to find out where that air leak is coming from. I replaced 2 airbags, and that helped a little. Then 2 more airbags, and you'd think that would have solved everything, because there was audible air coming out of those. So somebody must have knocked some airline or something, because it sure isn't staying in my truck. They've just recently done this road from here to Shiprock and Farmington, and really made it pretty good. So it ought to be a great trip all the way to Colorado, then to Utah. Shiprock, New Mexico, which is right on the Navajo Indian Reservation. Most of the homes here are trailers, but there are some still left, some adobe homes and stuff from the past, which are kind of interesting to see. But the architecture is very different. You can definitely tell a difference here from like the suburbs or wherever you're from.
In 1.5 miles, turn left on Esperance Peak Boulevard, US 490.
And this is where we turn north and go through Colorado. Colorado's the next state. Just once we cross into Colorado here, we just stay in it for about a half an hour until we get to Utah. Which is even more awesome. It's got some really cool rock formations and stuff there. Although just when we cross over here into Colorado, the roads get really bad. I mean, really bad. Maybe they fixed them. I haven't been here in about 6 months. Sometimes I get surprised they fix roads and stuff that I'm not expecting it. So hopefully they will have repaired the road up here. Where usually, man, you just get beat up. Gotta love Colorado. Well, we're gonna stop real quick at this truck stop. Stretch the legs. It looks pretty crowded today. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen it this crowded, ever. Maybe they have a sale on fuel or something. Usually it's just a sleepy little truck stop. I think everybody's over at the casino. Maybe that's what it is. Well, we'll just pull in here real quick.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
Next to this oversize. I asked the lady when I was in there how they pronounce the name of this area, this casino, whatever this is. I always thought it was Mountain, but she said it's pronounced Ute. So, like, what is a Ute? You know that movie, My Cousin Vinny? What is a Ute? But it's pronounced that way, Ute. So I got it right from an Indian lady in there. She told me how to pronounce it. Very nice lady. So we got some history lesson and so we got a lesson in English this morning. Well, that's about it for Monticello, Utah, which is where we are now. Next stop, Moab. Listen to how quiet it is. When you're a truck driver, the sounds that are constantly in your ear day after day, you appreciate when it's just quiet. But unfortunately, I can't have quiet right now. Gotta get rolling on to Moab. Moab, Utah. Actually, it doesn't sound that loud right now until we actually get rolling. When you get the sound of the highway, and of course the engine and the air brakes and the other traffic. Now the only thing that I can think of that's mildly interesting about this little town is there's always a speed trap up here. And every time I'm leaving the town, I get someone flashing their lights at me, which means to tell you that there's a cop ahead monitoring your speed. So I've just learned, I always go slow anyway, but I go ultra slow in this town, just in case. I've noticed just in the past half an hour, when I accelerate, I don't get that instant power. Central Moab here in Utah. And yes, you can see there's room for a truck here. Not a lot of places to park, but in some of the outskirts there are places that you can park a truck, and truckers are welcome there. And then if you have a bike, you can ride it into town or take a taxi to one of the sites that are around here. Ooh, we don't like to see doors opening like that. And then cars cutting in like that. Tourists just don't realize. Maybe she wasn't a tourist, but if you're in a downtown setting, don't open your door that wide and just leave it open. In fact, in some cities, they require trucks to be in the left lane because of cars opening their doors, and I think I'm going to do that here. I just don't trust all these tourists. And I'm sure they like their doors. They would like them when they turn the rental car in. Man, you can rent all these little quad runners. Those are awesome. Well, we're now on US 6 in Utah, which is actually Utah's most deadly highway, according to their DOT. I would bet that the winter has a lot to do with that because it's really bad here in the winter, but they say it's because of the curvy road and being a two-lane road, the heavy truck traffic and vacationers all going from Salt Lake to Moab. So it's just a highway you want to be really careful on. Especially in the winter when it's snowpacked. They do a pretty good job keeping it clear, but you know, when it's icy, what can you do? So it's a nice canyon, nice road, but very dangerous. Well, there's good news, which I didn't know about. There's a new Love's in Springvale, here in Salt Lake.
Turn left on South Quincy 500.
This is really a needed Love's, I'll tell you.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
Because the Flying J, which is at the next exit, is always full. It's the typical thing, you know, always full, but having this Love's is great. It's even got one of the bigger tire centers. Good. It's got a section for bull haulers down here. See, there's even a bull hauler in there testing it out. We'll let him go. This puts us 50 miles from our drop-off in the morning. I could go to my yard, but then, this is just better. Alright, let's go to the end here. And good, he doesn't have a lawnmower on him. What's a lawnmower? Some of you are going to ask me. It's a guy that has an APU that's a homemade one that sounds like a lawnmower all night. Now you're saying, well, what's an APU? Some of you. It's a way that you can run your air conditioning all night without having to idle your engine. So it's just a little generator. But when you get somebody next to somebody like that has a homemade one or one of the little ones, it runs all night, and it'd be like you being home and your next door neighbor having a lawnmower running right outside your door the whole night, and the smoke coming inside. So, woohoo! I'm tired today, but we made it all the way to Salt Lake City, almost to Salt Lake City. I arrived at the receiver, and I thought it was going to take another 5 hours for them to unload the tires, just like they loaded them. But lo and behold, you'll never guess what happened. They told me to back up onto one of those tipper machines, which tips up my trailer on its end, and all of the contents dumps out the end. So it turned out to be a great unload. It was a busy facility. I got there. They were doing the pre-trips on their tractors. They were doing some road grading out there. It was like a construction site, and they were going to use these tires for the landfill there. That's what they explained to me. So here we go, and we're going to unload the tires by raising up the end of the trailer so all the contents dumps out the end. That is fascinating to watch. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm Indiana Jack, and we'll see you next time. Remember, trucking really is an adventure. Right along with me.